Good morning.
Hi there. We are back live and
Yeah,
it's good to be here.
Caramel. Yep, Tuesday again.
Already.
I know.
Well, Tuesday's just it's coming like crazy.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us. We have a fun, yummy recipe today that's going to take lots of different moving pieces, so we're going to get right after it. We are making a chocolate cherry cheesecake.
Yum.
Yeah, like I was talking about, if you get my emails on Monday, I know I said cookie dough is like one of my all-time favorite desserts, but it has some fierce competition with cheesecake.
Yeah, that's how it goes for me too.
Yeah.
Everybody in my family can tell you that whenever I was growing up, I always wanted cheesecake for my birthday cake because I love cheesecake.
I remember when I went to a friend's wedding a long time ago, and her wedding cake was a cheesecake. And I was like, that's brilliant.
Yes.
I'm like, it was so out of the norm and unconventional. Nowadays people have cupcakes and everything for the wedding cake, but back then it was so different. And I'm like, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
I should have a do-over, but I won't. Okay, so we are gonna start with our cherry sauce and we're gonna get that cooking. So I have here a package of frozen cherries. They're already pitted, so I'm just gonna throw that in my pot. And along with that, I'm gonna put a half a cup of sugar, if it'll go out there, and 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. And I'm gonna turn this on. We'll see how this goes. I might have to adjust this. It's different than my stove top, so you'll have to bear with me there. And I'm just gonna mix it all around. The sugar is gonna melt down, and as the cherries thaw, they're gonna release their juices with that the sugar, and it's gonna make a syrup out of it. And then we're gonna use some arrowroot mixed with water to actually thicken it into like a consistency of like a cherry pie filling. So we're gonna go ahead and let that simmer. So we're gonna simmer that. We're gonna put the lid on, and I'll come back and I'll periodically stir it to get it all incorporated.
Yeah, so as you can see, Stephanie is making her own cherry topping, which you can buy it in cans, but this is much better. And Stephanie talked about that yesterday in her email, that she likes to make it on her own, and it's so much more delicious. And if you don't get Stephanie's recipes, you can sign up for them on our website at caramelkitchen.com, and you'll get Stephanie's recipe every Monday, and then we'll go over it on Tuesdays.
Absolutely. All right, so step 2 of our cheesecake is to make the crust. And for the crust layer, we are doing an Oreo crust. Yum. That's one element of the chocolate. So we have 3 different chocolates going on here. We have our Oreo crust, we have a white chocolate cheesecake, and then we have our chocolate caramel sauce as a garnish.
Yeah.
And so I am going to just start, I'm going to put these in my food processor. 28, so here's the ratio. 28 Oreos to 4 tablespoons of butter. And the way I like to remember this is for every 7 Oreos, it's a tablespoon of butter. So if you like a thicker crust, or if you like your crust to go up the sides, you can add 7 more Oreos and another tablespoon of butter, and that'll kind of build up the sides. I just want this to be flat on the bottom. So here we go. It's gonna get loud.
And for any of our previous episodes, you can find us on YouTube, and we are now on Rumble as well. You can find us on Rumble at Caramel Kitchen. And we have all but 3 of our videos loaded up to Rumble right now. But you can go back and you can find anything. And at this point in time, I'm going to bring up our caramel flan challenge, because none of you guys have done that yet.
Yeah, come on.
Me and Stephanie are the only ones that have made the flan. And I'm telling you guys that you guys are missing out in not doing that challenge.
It is such a good dessert.
It is. It is delicious.
And it's easy.
Yes.
Right?
So easy. Like
I was intimidated for no reason.
Yeah, I totally agree. As I always talk about, Stephanie's the creative one and I'm just the copycat. And sometimes I feel like I can't do that on my own, but then I go home and I do it. And it's like, the flan was definitely easy, and it was definitely delicious. Everybody in my family loved it. My kids, my husband, it was good.
Yeah, so it's not too late to get in for... Seriously. I have a love-hate relationship with my food processor, and it always seems like on Tuesdays to not want to work.
Yeah.
So it works at home.
Yeah.
I think it has camera fright,
Yeah.
stage fright.
It knows whenever we're live.
I'm like, I'm not gonna behave.
Yeah.
It's like my puppy.
Yeah.
Okay.
The puppy had to stay home today.
Puppy stayed home.
He's like a teenager now. He keeps
We've
getting
now,
in trouble.
we've now named him Pequeño Diablo. His name is no longer Bodhi. Okay, so that is my crust minus 2 little pieces that didn't crumble, which we'll just set aside. And I'm going to mix with it my butter. And we're going to just get it all incorporated till it has nice moist crumbs. And then we're going to press it into the bottom of our spring form pan.
Yeah.
You just eat this.
Yes. So what is Carmel Kitchen? As I just shared a little bit ago, me and Stephanie, we get together every Tuesday and we go over her Monday recipe that she sends out every Monday, and she puts together all these crafty ideas that I end up being delicious and make it hard for me to be on a diet. But Carmel Kitchen, we make all natural caramel sauces in our shop. Stephanie is the owner of Carmel Kitchen, and Stephanie came up with the caramel recipes that we use way back in the day and was gifting caramel for Christmas presents and stuff like that. It turned into a business. She started making caramel in her garage, and Brad, didn't you take some caramel to a show and then you ended up selling out, and Brad had to go back and cook some more?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you know, and that's how it all got started.
Right.
So that's how Carmel Kitchen became. We don't use any gluten in our products. We don't have any corn syrup, no preservatives, there's no nuts. So, you know, that's why we are all natural and delicious, and we make all of our caramel the old-fashioned way in copper kettles. We put a lot of love and a lot of care into everything that we do in our shop, and we send it out to you guys so that you guys can enjoy that love and care and that deliciousness.
Yum.
Yes.
Okay, so I am grabbing these crumbs and I'm putting them in the bottom of my pan, and then the easiest way for me to press them down is to use the back of a measuring cup. I kind of just push them around and then I just tap down on it just to get it nice and compact down on the bottom of the pan.
Yeah.
And so when this is all compact down, I am going to put this in the oven at 350 for about 8 to 10 minutes. So just depend on how hot. Some ovens cook a little hotter than others, so that's, if your oven cooks hot, I do on the 8-minute side. If it's a cool cooker, I do it on the 10-minute side.
Yeah. Now, I'm just going to say, for those of you that are strapped on time all the time, I would like to remind you guys that we do all of this like within a half an hour to 40 minutes every week. So it's like the things that we do, the most thing that's time consuming, it would be the baking period. But this is a great dessert to make for your loved one or for your family for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, and it can be made ahead. So the other part of this that's going to take a little bit of time that we're going to time lapse for you is the chilling part of it. Once the cheesecake is made, the cooling down part. So we've got some of the elements that are already pre-done that we can just move ahead and show you the other processes. But I'm going to put this in the oven and get it baking.
Yay! I just want to remind everybody too that you can order caramel sauce on our website at caramelkitchen.com, and all of our shipping is priority. We've got a $5 flat rate shipping or free shipping over $50, so you can get your orders in. And if you didn't know, caramel sauce is the perfect Valentine's Day gift for anybody and everybody.
Yes, it is. Okay, so I'm going to check my cherries here. They are starting to melt. You can see that the liquid is getting more transparent, so the sugar is melting, and you can see that there's quite a lot of liquid in the bottom of the pan. The cherries are starting to release their juice. So I'm going to just bump this up a little bit because I want it to be at a simmer. So I want it to not only release, I mean, if you can tell there's some heat coming out, but I actually want it to simmer for probably about 5 minutes before I add my thickener to it, so it gets nice and saucy.
Yeah.
All right.
This should look good.
Okay, now we're moving on to the making of the cheesecake. And these things are not light, but it's okay. I was telling Elizabeth earlier, I got my muscles.
Yeah. She said, "Oh, it's heavy, I'll get it." I said, "What?" She's So I just want you to know that I'm strong too.
I have muscles too. So, in my stand mixer bowl, I'm going to add 3 bricks of cream cheese. I made that mistake one time and I said 3 bricks of cheesecake. And one of you so kindly pointed out, I think you meant to say cream cheese, not cheesecake. Yeah, you're right. Cheesecake's the final result. It takes cream cheese to get there. So I am going to just whip this up until it is nice and fluffy. The cream cheese is at room temperature, so it's already nice and soft. So we're just gonna let that go for a few minutes and get really light and fluffy.
Cool. I'm gonna read this review. It's from the mysterious Liz. That we don't know who you are, but your name is Liz, and you left us a few reviews on our website. So I just want to invite anybody that if you leave a review on our website, please message us and let us know that you did that so that we know who you are, because we don't have a way of tracking you if you don't leave your full name on our website and if you just leave the name Liz. But this review makes me laugh. It's for the salted caramel, and she says, "Who needs a recipe? This stuff is so good. I don't need any recipes to put it on. All I need is a spoon." It's not the truth.
Okay, so our cream cheese is nice and light now. I'm going to add 4 eggs, and I'm going to add them one at a time, and so they can incorporate each egg as we go. It's really important at this step to make sure that you stop your mixer periodically to scrape down the sides so that it can all be incorporated. Otherwise, just the middle will be light and fluffy, and the edges will still be hard and chunky.
Yeah, looks good. So today we're going to give a shout out to Cranberry Cottage. They are located in Bothell, Washington. Their address is 18404 102nd Avenue Northeast in Bothell. They are a brick and mortar shop. They've got home goods and gifts there, and they are one of our partners that has a wholesale account, and they stock our products there. So if you are in the Bothell area, you can pick up Carmel Kitchen's caramel in that store. And we want to also invite anybody that has a store, or if you think that our product should be in a store near you, just let us know and we can reach out to them. But if you are a wholesaler or distributor, you can fill out that application on our website. It's right there on the homepage, right underneath of the slideshow, and those applications come through, and most of the time we approve them as long as you are a real wholesaler.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah, I love Cranberry Cottage. They have such a cute store, and it is located right next door to where I grew up. I grew up in Woodinville, Washington, and I spent lots of time in Bothell because that's where our high school had all of their football games. So
Awesome.
went there a lot. And the Ranch Drive-In.
Yeah.
Great place to get burgers. I don't even know if it's there anymore. Shout out if you know if Ranch Drive-In is still in Bothell.
Yeah, let us know. We're going a little trip of our own.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have one more egg to incorporate. I've scraped down once. I'm going to scrape down the bowl one more time after the last incorporated egg to make sure it's all evenly mixed in there.
It's smelling like cheesecake in here.
Yeah, it is.
Smells good.
I'm going to just lift this up so I can get a good scrape. I see some still along the edges here and along the bottom too, especially where the mixer goes at the very end. That can tend to get mashed down and not fully incorporated. So I'm going to just lift that up off the bottom. I'm going to scrape the chunks off the beater here and get those back in the bowl. And I think our cherries are pretty much ready to turn into a sauce.
Yep, I was stirring them a little bit. They were simmering nice and simmery.
There we go. This is not easy to do backwards and upside down, I'm just saying. For all you who want to start your own cooking show.
We don't practice before we do this. We just come here and do it, so.
Like, whoa. I need to be left-handed.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna, oh yeah, those are really looking nice and yummy. So what I have here is 2 tablespoons of arrowroot, and I've tried this both ways. I've tried it with cornstarch and I've tried it with arrowroot. I think that the arrowroot has a better finishing flavor than the cornstarch, and I also discovered that you really don't need as much of it as you do the cornstarch to thicken it. So I just poured some cold water into about 2 tablespoons of arrowroot, and I'm making just like a little slurry with it, and I'm gonna pour
And the cherries are
into
simmering
the cherries.
right now.
Yeah, they're simmering, and it doesn't take a lot. And you can just pour it into your desired, and I'm gonna turn this off now because we don't want it to continue to cook. Look at that, instant,
Wow.
instant sauce.
Yep. And it smells so good.
I'm gonna do a little bit more just to get it a little thick because we don't want it to completely pour off the cheesecake. But if you can see that it's yummy sauce. You can see that? I don't know if you can see that. I don't want to risk pouring this all over the counter.
Yeah.
We need to change it to cooking mishaps with Carmel Kitchen. But it is a really yummy sauce. So what I'm going to do is we want this to completely cool. This is one of the stages where, or one of the steps that needs to cool completely before you add it to the cheesecake. So I actually did make some ahead of time that we're going to use to top the cheesecake that I made ahead of time. But I just wanted to show you how easy and quick it is to actually make your own cherry sauce. And you can use this for your pie fillings. You can use it on top of ice cream with a drizzle of our chocolate caramel sauce. I think that'd be fabulous. So we're going to let this cool and we'll get on to the rest of the cheesecake.
Awesome. I just want to let everybody know that this is not our commercial kitchen either. This is not where we cook caramel. This is only where we do our Cooking with Caramel show. So this is not where the magic happens. So we wear gloves and we wear hairnets and we wear aprons and we wear everything protective, face masks. We do all of that protective stuff whenever we're at our shop in Caramel Kitchen. We just come here. This is actually Stephanie's parents' house. We come here. They let us use their kitchen every week, and so that we can get on here with you guys and have a good time.
And a good time we have.
Yes, we do.
All right. So to finish off our cheesecake, my cream cheese looks really good with my eggs right now. I'm going to put in 1 cup of sugar. So it doesn't go flying everywhere. And 3 tablespoons of flour. And I was telling Elizabeth earlier that this is a recipe that could really easily be adapted to gluten-free. If you use gluten-free Oreos and a gluten-free flour, it's basically, it's gluten-free.
Right. And our caramel sauce is all gluten-free as well. Something that we don't have any nuts in our shop at all. We don't have any gluten there. We don't do any of that stuff there at the shop. So.
Okay. Oh, and I'm gonna also, where's my vanilla?
Yeah, don't forget the vanilla.
My teaspoon and a half of vanilla, and you all know how I like to measure vanilla.
Yeah.
That's about good. Maybe that was a tablespoon.
Yeah.
That's okay. I don't think you can ever have too much vanilla.
I don't either. I'm a vanilla lover.
Okay, so in here I have melted about 6 ounces of white chocolate, and I'm just going to slowly pour, and it's cooled slightly, so it's not super hot, so it's not going to seize when I add it to the cream cheese mixture. So I'm just slowly drizzling that in and getting it all nice and incorporated.
Yummy. Just mix it like that. So I would like to know if any of you are new to Caramel Kitchen and if any of you guys received gifts for Christmas and that brought you guys to us. Let us know. Give us a shout out. Give us a review for all those gifts that were sent out during Christmas time, because there was a lot of them.
There was a lot of gifts sent out.
Yeah.
So thank you guys if you
Yes.
were the gift sender. We so appreciate your business.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
keeping us going during these hard times that we're in.
Yeah, we couldn't be doing any of this without you guys, so we appreciate it so much.
So good news is that we are starting to get a lot of our shows saying they're going to open back up. So you should be able to find us in some of your favorite art festivals and events throughout the summer. So I'm really excited about that.
I am too. It's about time.
It's about time.
I've been lonely Even my event last week that I was telling you guys all about, like, hey, I'm gonna be in Spokane down at the Riverfront Market, and then as soon as we got done with our live, I got an email that it was canceled. So,
Okay.
but I will be back there on February 10th, so you can find me in Spokane down here at the Riverfront Market.
Okay, so I'm gonna give this one last stir now that I got some of the bits and pieces off the edge, and then it will be ready to pour into our pie crust.
Yum, I could just eat that out of the bowl.
I've been known to do that. Yeah. Not gonna lie, I've never been afraid of raw eggs.
Yeah, me neither. They've never done me any harm, so I think until I get sick, I'll continue to eat raw eggs.
That's right. I use pasteurized eggs, I'm good, right?
Right?
Yeah, I think
No,
so.
I use organic eggs.
Okay, so that is good. And we are gonna just set that to the side. And normally, I'm gonna wait until my cheesecake, my crust is cooled off more than it is. So I'm not actually gonna show you pouring it in, but basically you pour the contents of this on top of your crust. I think you got it. And you bake it. I lower the temperature to 325 degrees when you're baking it. And I would recommend baking it for about 50 to 55 minutes, again, depending on how your oven cooks. But you want it to just be slightly jiggly in the middle when you take it out of the oven. So you don't want it to be completely firm and set, because it'll continue to cook as you take it out. So this is still a little too warm poured in, but we're gonna move on to the finished cheesecake, and we'll show you the assembly of how it all goes together.
Yum, this is my favorite part. I have the best job ever since I get to be here for all this stuff, and then my husband, he gets to eat it later too, so.
I know.
Yeah.
My parents are not here today, and I know my dad especially is missing out on the dessert time. So this is how it looks when it's done cooking and cooled. It's been cooling overnight. I made this last night. It's okay that it has a couple cracks in it because the top is going to be completely covered, so it really doesn't matter. And voila.
Wow.
So here we go. You see that? Here's the cheesecake. You see the yummy chocolate crust on the bottom. And this is the fun part here. Where's my chocolate caramel sauce? Here we go. So I'm basically going to just drizzle the caramel sauce. I didn't have it sitting upside down.
She put it upside down before we started.
I know. I like, really. Okay, we're gonna wind it up. It's my softball pitch.
Welcome to Cooking with Carmel.
I have to tell you a funny story. So when I went to, because I made this recipe the first time to take pictures of, then I made it the second time to get ready for today. And as I'm making it the second time, I go to get my Oreos out of the package, and there's one missing because I had exactly 28 left from the package. And I'm like, oh, which kid?
Yeah.
Which kid?
Which one was it?
I know. So it will still work with 27 Oreos and 4 tablespoons of butter in case you have that problem. The Oreo thief in your house too.
Right.
Okay, so I'm just, you can see I'm pouring this along the edges. I like some of it to drip down a little bit. I just think it, you know, who doesn't want some more chocolate caramel sauce? And then we'll fill the inside of it as well.
Yum.
You know.
You fill the inside with chocolate caramel too?
Yeah?
Oh.
Well, I mean, you can.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, you can.
Caramel or
So
with cherries?
you both.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Well, let's not get confused here.
Yeah. I mean, I did both because, you know, I think it's a really great combination. The chocolate caramel sauce and the cherries, it's pretty yummy, and it's so perfect for Valentine's Day. It's got the
red, and the chocolate.
and the chocolate.
Yeah.
It's got everything you need, and
just like how our caramel sauce is perfect gifts for Valentine's Day. Just want to say that again. Well, as I was saying about the market that I'll be at, Riverstone Winter Market on February 10th, and I'll be down there with all of your Valentine's gifts that you need from Carmel Kitchen. So definitely come and see me if you're in the Spokane area.
I was actually thinking maybe you should do a tutorial on how to make those yummy Chocolates.
Yeah.
We could put Elizabeth in the hot seat.
Oh my goodness, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Those were, by the way, were so good. And y'all know we've talked about that Brad's not a sweet guy. He's a sweet guy. He's not a sweets guy.
Yeah.
And so I only gave him one to try because I'm like, oh, I'm not going to waste these on him because he's not going to appreciate it. Yeah. And then, like, the next morning, he's like, you got any more of those chocolates? And by then, the kids and I had eaten them all.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, sorry, we don't. He's like, those were good.
Yeah, and I will have those chocolates on the 10th at the market. I'll also get some together for the shop in Coeur d'Alene too. Another thing that we have at the shop, which I noticed that some of you guys have been utilizing, is we've got a little freezer set up with our ice cream and our ice cream sandwiches set out so that you can buy ice cream whether we're there or not. So we've got some handcrafted ice cream that we partnered with Lopez Island Creamery, and so we've got some yummy, delicious salted caramel swirl ice cream and ice cream sandwiches, and I promise you that they are the best that you've ever had.
Yeah, it was a really fun day when Brad and I went up there and got to taste test and just dial in the recipe for our caramel ice cream. It was a lot of fun that they let us come in and actually customize the ice cream exactly to how we wanted it and our taste, and it was
and it is delicious.
And it was just awesome to see like this whole bucket of our salted caramel sauce going into their ice cream mix. It was like, oh my gosh.
We actually have a video of that. It's on the Facebook page from, it's probably coming up on almost a year now, right?
Yeah, almost. Yeah. It was last spring.
Yeah.
Okay, so this normally doesn't take this long. It was just a little. I thought it was a whole bottle, but it was not sitting on its top, and so it was a half a bottle. So now it doesn't want to come out. So that's me for running out the door with a half a bottle of chocolate sauce.
Yeah, we're just people too.
We're just people too. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, we're just people too.
All right, so you get the gist of it. We're gonna fill that with caramel. If you want to take a little offset spatula, fill it all in. But what I like to do next is take our cherry sauce and just spoonful it into the middle.
Yum. Oh my goodness.
And so you have this amazing chocolate cherry filled goodness on top of your cheesecake. My son says they taste better than maraschino cherries. And these were sweet cherries. That's why I use the lemon juice in it. If you want a sweeter cherry, you can not put as much lemon juice in it. If you are already using tart cherries, you can cut back on the lemon juice. But I mean, really, when you're making your cherry sauce, you can just do it to taste however you like it. But I liked it since these were a little sweeter. I wanted a little bit more tart flavor in there. There's me being a perfectionist. Every cherry needs to be shown.
Because this is normal.
You need to have their stirring roll. Yeah. Okay. So that is
I'm impressed.
Our
yeah. We'll just pick it up.
Yeah. That is our delicious chocolate cherry cheesecake.
Yum.
Yeah.
So now you guys need to go on our website, go back and look at the flan recipe, make a flan, and tag yourself with the hashtag, what is it? We don't even remember the hashtag anymore. Because
Caramel Kitchen Flan Challenge.
Yes.
That's right. I tried to do something
take a picture. I promise you that you will not be disappointed in that recipe, just like you won't be disappointed in this one. This one is a great recipe for Valentine's Day. I can tell you right now that will not make it to Valentine's Day, but...
No, it shouldn't.
Yeah.
So the question is, do you get a piece before you have to take it home, or do you have to take the whole one home?
I am intermittent fasting right now.
I can't believe she works for us. That's not right. Okay, you can take it home and...
I actually learned intermittent fasting from them, so...
Whatever. You need to plan your days better.
Just living what I was taught.
Plan your hours better.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, if you guys have any questions, throw them at us. Do we have any questions? Do we get any questions or comments while we're on? Do we need to answer anything?
I don't see any questions.
All right. Well, then we got nothing for you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All
We'll see you
right.
next Tuesday.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye. I don't know. I think I need to eat.